Well, hello friends. This will be a video log of me painting some nurglings. And the purpose of this exercise is to test a painting scheme that I want to use for more of the Nurgle models. I have already painted some nurglings before. There you can see them. Hang on. Yep. So these are painted in a typical greenish Nurgle scheme with some purple and red accent colors. The thing is that I have painted in this scheme 30 plague bearers, which are painted in exactly this same paint scheme. And I want to have another squad of 30 plague bearers, and I want to be able to distinguish between the two squads based on the paint scheme. And I have experimented with other paint schemes for Nurglings, as you can see on this model right here. So this is the Herald of Nurgle, and he has two little Nurglings on this model as well. And they are painted in a flesh color, like this is almost like a human flesh color, and I quite like it. But what I want to do with the next set of models for my Nurgle army is that I actually want to do them in this bluish, grayish paint scheme. So I will be using the paints that are well, originally designed for the Space Wolves. So I have Somber Grey from Vallejo and Wolf Grey from Vallejo, which basically mirror the paints, which names I don't remember anymore from the GW, but one of them would be Space Wolf Grey. So grayish blue paints that you know from the Space Wolf paint scheme. And the idea is, the reason why I have painted or primed these Nurglings in black is that I want to do most of the work with an airbrush. So I will do first a zenithal highlight over this black base coat with a somber gray, and then the highlight will be more from the top using the wolf gray. I might be adding some more shades or some more highlights depending on the results that I will be getting, and then I will do the wounds and perhaps the teeth with some purple color, again with an airbrush, and then I will probably get to some washing, because that was basically the method that I used for these guys as well. So I want to do the same thing, just with a different paint scheme. Okay, so keep watching and see me experimenting with these paints. Okay, so this will be the first coat of the darker gray. This is the somber gray, and I'm spraying it mostly from the top. I'm not paying attention to any details, just spraying it on the mini from the top and going to the sides as well, but I'm still leaving quite a lot of black showing up when you look at the mini from the bottom. This camera shot actually shows it quite well, that there is still quite a lot of black left. Looks good. Okay, we can go to the next step. Okay, so the next step is the lighter gray, the wolf gray, and this time I'm much more direct, or much more perpendicular to the mini. I'm spraying exclusively from the top in about a 19-degree angle, and I'm doing this overall over the mini. But then I'm coming in and I'm actually spraying on the individual Nurglings to let them stand out a little bit more. So this might not be as realistic as it comes to the light. But it will help the individual nurglings to stand out. I'm taking my time, trying to also hit the arms from the top. And I'm actually looking at the mini and looking at how it looks overall, as far as the light goes. And this is the comparison of the first layer of the zenith light and the second one. These two steps are quite fast. Now I come to the next step, which is using this Warlord purple to paint the wounds. And this time I'm laying down very, very thin layers of the paint over the wounds and over the blisters on the nurglings, and definitely not making this opaque. So all of this is very transparent. The wounds themselves we will paint later with some washes or something else perhaps. Okay, good enough. Now we need to paint in the details, like the tongues, the horns, and so on. I have now painted the tongues of the little nurglings with magic blue. I hoped it to create some nice contrast that at the same time keep the cold color scheme, but I'm not really that happy with the result, so I did this on two of the nurgling bases. So the on this one I will try the purple. This is old GW Warlock purple that is very similar to the pink that we have used before for the wounds. It will also help me tie these nurgling bases to the ones that I made previously, the green ones, because I use this purple there. Okay, but just for the sake of experimentation, let me repaint this base, or actually this one. There is fewer stuff to do here, and this one I want to do with some very bright green. So I have some green here. I will add a little bit of yellow perhaps. And I will repaint the tongues here with green. This needs to be much lighter. Okay, so here we have the three nurglings, each one of them with different accent colors. Let me know in the comments below which one of these do you like the most. And now I'll do some washing. I've prepared some washes here. So there is the crimson wash. These are the GW washes. I have violet. Then I have this is blue, the midnight blue, and the last one is black. And I will also add some water here, just to have it handy. And I will use crimson to wash the wounds, perhaps the mouths, and so on. And let's see how this will work out. In the next step, I will paint the eyes and the horns. So I don't really care about staining the eyeballs or anything like that. I think that this crimson wash works pretty good. I like it. I'm putting on too much of this. We'll have to pick up some of that paint. There, so I have cleaned up the brush and dried it, and now I'm just picking up the excess paint. Okay, this works pretty well. Now let me try this, maybe this blue wash, to do some shadows under the armpits. Maybe I can do the eye on this one with the blue wash. Maybe some of this. I can anytime come back with a highlight and pick up the highlights again, but hopefully that won't be necessary. Okay, it works pretty well to increase the contrast on some of these parts. Let's also do this, let's try this purple wash as well here. Yep, that works nicely. I was thinking that I will use the black wash for the eyes. Actually, I think I will not need it. I will use just the blue one and the crimson, perhaps the purple. Okay, I will keep on washing these. Then I will paint the horns here and the eyeballs, and I will come back after that. Okay, so I have finished washing the minis. I have also painted the eyes and teeth. For the washes, what I did in the end was that I used the crimson wash on all of the wounds, and then the violet wash I used in the recesses of under the armpits and in the bottom part of the minis. You will see it better here on the back of the nurglings. I have also painted the horns just with pure flat black. This was probably the most labor-intensive part of painting these minis. And I was thinking for the eyes, so for the eyes and for the teeth I used an off-white, but I was thinking glazing the eyes with yellow to make them a little bit more interesting. So that's what I'm going to do now, just to demonstrate. With almost white undercoat, the yellow will nicely tint the, oops, that's too much of it. Like this. I think the eyes look more interesting when they are yellow. What do you think? Okay, so I will finish doing this. The next thing that I will do is that I will just lightly dry brush the bases, which I previously covered with the Templar Black, the new contrast paint actually. And I will paint the rims of the bases. I will varnish the mini, and then I will perhaps paint the horns, the black horns, with gloss varnish. I will cover the whole mini with satin varnish, and the horns I will make gloss. And that will be back then, and that will be the last shot of this video. Okay, so the blue, gray, purple nurglings are finished. I've varnished them, I dry brushed the bases, and I painted the horns, the tongues with gloss varnish, and I have used Blood for the Blood God on the wounds after varnishing to keep the glossy effect. There you can see it better on the wounds on the back. Okay. I'm reasonably happy with the result. I can now paint 30 plague bearers in this scheme. Just for comparison, here are the nurglings which were painted in that original greenish scheme, so I will be able to easily distinguish the different squads in my army. So this was very quick painting video, and it was great fun painting these nurglings. I don't really know what it is about these happy little creatures that makes them so fun to paint, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Something tells me that you want to watch more painting videos, so let me recommend you this painting tutorial by Oli on painting Tau in the cool red scheme, and you will learn a lot of tricks on painting battle damage and dust and making your Tau look like they really live on the 40k battlefield. Bye bye.